were born before the wind. Also younger than the sun. Yeah, the bonnie boat was one as we sail into the mystic.
Welcome to 3, the most innovative metaphysical program ever created. Join Chris, Rainey, and Mona as these amazing intuitives provide you with a three-dimensional divination into your most important questions. Now, from Las Vegas, the entertainment capital of the world, enjoy 3 with our hostess, Mona Van Joseph.
Welcome again to another fabulous episode of 3. I'm here with our master astrologer, Chris Gray, our intuitive medium, Rainy Day, and me, I do tarot. So you get a 3-dimensional approach to your one specific question. So how do you be on 3? You go to www.3.vegas and you go to How to Be on 3 page and you fill out the contact form. Now, what's happening is now that we're starting to get lots of views on this wonderful program. And I have to say a grateful, heartfelt thanks for you all to stay with our lovely little broadcast and tune into the program, because the more views that we get, the more it motivates us to be here for you, which is wonderful. But anyway, go to 3.vegas, go to the contact page and How to Be on 3, and then fill out the information. And then we take the contacts in the order they come in through the website. So the people that we're filming today, they've all reached out to the broadcast to be on the program. So I'm just letting you know, we'd love to talk with you. We'd love to hear your question, and we'd love to have the experience of you. All right, we'll be back right after this with Stacy.
Tip.
And we're back. Stacy, welcome to our program. How are you today?
Hi, good. I'm so glad to be here.
Well, we love that you found the program. And so the way it's going to work is we're going to have you think of your specific question, and then you're going to choose one of us to answer your question first. And then after each of us spend 5 minutes with you, then we're going to do this like psychic brainstorm with you. So we're all going to just jump in and tell you things that we're picking up after all 3 of us have actually addressed your question. So who would you like to have answer your question first?
I'm going to go with Mona.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. And then, do you know who you'd like to have answer the question after me?
I'll probably just go down the table and do Rainy and then Chris.
Perfect. Okay. So tell me your question.
Okay. My question I kind of wrote out, so bear with me.
You can even give us a little history if you want to.
Okay. I was originally going to ask about how to best help my daughters to be a better influence, but I realized I need to be more on top of things myself. I have felt for years that I can't keep up with life, overwhelmed, frazzled, but also stuck and lazy. I do work full-time, have 2 special needs girls, and some mental, physical, and social challenges, but nothing as or more serious than most other challenges. And also I will say a lot of blessings too. So my question is, within my control, what is the main area I should focus on or thing I need to do to feel forward progress and more functional on my way to getting out of the hole rather than running in place? And do you see that actually happening?
Wow, I love how detailed your question is. I also love that you really gave it some serious thought. To me, that's a huge blessing. So I'm going to draw your cards. I use my left hand to draw your cards because it's closest to my heart. So I'm concentrating on your question right now, and I'm setting these aside. So you're not very good at letting people help you, Stacy. This is saying that there's help available to you, but you're having a hard time asking for it. The funny thing is that funny, interesting, odd, ironic, is that your daughters were meant for you in this lifetime. Yes. That's literally what this past lives card means, and that you're showing them the kind of unconditional love that they need to have in this lifetime. I also want to let you know that your daughters are capable of doing more than I think you expect, and it's time to start assigning them tasks. All right. For example, if they can cook something simple, or if they can do the laundry in a certain way, you show them how to do it, you supervise them to do it, and then you actually have them do it for you. All right. The other thing too is it might be something as simple as turning on what's that little vacuum cleaner that
iRobot,
the little disc that
Roomba.
the Roomba,
Roomba,
the iRobot.
right? It's like it might be something as simple as you showing them how to turn on the Roomba and how to empty it, kind of thing. But what I'm getting is that the card smack in the middle of your reading talks about you're taking on burdens, more burdens than you should, which is why these cards over here are saying it's time for you to ask for other people to help you. Now, there might even be some sort of a service out there where, and I don't know where you live, but I wonder if there's a service where someone can come in 4 hours a week and just clean your house, because this is saying coincidence is absolutely your best friend. Now, it's really interesting because I believe that we're talking right now on August 20th, and you have the number 2 repeating here. You have it with inner voice and you have it with moment to moment. The number 2 is always about collaborative energy. It's your collaborative energy and your ability to tell people the truth without offending them. So with your job right now, I think you're dealing with a lot of kids at your job right now, in the sense that you're always explaining in a very gentle way, how something happens. You're also very good at making people feel valued when you explain things to them. So even if they weren't the brightest bulb on the marquee, you would treat them like they were. You see what I mean? It's like if they asked a question that in your mind are like, well, that's a stupid question, they would never know it, because the way you would address it was, you know what? That's a very thoughtful way to ask that. And then you would address the question. So in other words, you have this innate psychic ability to know exactly where someone is on their life path without even actually them telling you. So the card called Inner Voice in traditional tarot is called the High Priestess. It is the most powerful card a woman can get in a reading, and you have it in these 5 cards. So you know that you're living a very karmic, truthful, important lifetime right now. But here's the fun part. This card called Moment to Moment is coincidence being your absolute best friend. So it might be that you call your local 211 line and you say, I need a little help around the house. I have some special needs children, and sometimes I can't keep up on the housekeeping. And I'm wondering if I can pay somebody to come out for 4 hours a week on a Monday or Tuesday to just clean my whole house for me. And that you might find that there's a resource for $25 an hour that someone could come out and do that for you. So now you're not the one that's, oh my God, the cat just barfed on the carpet, I got to clean that up now. Instead, it's you saying, you know what? I'm making somebody else feel better about helping me. You see, because you're the one that's doing it all. You're taking on the burden yourself. And it's saying it's time for you to be honest with what you don't want to deal with anymore. It might be that you decide, every Monday, this person comes out, changes the sheets, does 3 loads of laundry, vacuums, tidies up, and you're paying them a modest amount, right?
Mhm.
Well, for that person, that modest amount is going to be perfect for them. But there's the bigger picture, because they're going to become very fond of your daughters. And that now your daughters have somebody else new to interact with. And it might even be that, I wish there was a service out there called Hire Your Grandma. We had a gal that was on our program recently, and I think her name was Gail. And we actually told her that she could be like, talk to grandma kind of thing. I almost wonder if you end up bringing someone in that acts like their aunt, that comes in and not only are she and I get a woman, she comes in and basically is another interest or something to look forward to for your girls. So are your girls totally disabled? Are they in wheelchairs?
No, that's the thing. That's where I'm blessed. No, they are both on the autism spectrum.
Oh,
And
Oh,
they both have ADHD. They both
right.
have learning disabilities. They both have sensory issues.
Got it.
But their IQ is normal, so they're
Yeah,
considered high functioning. They
right.
seem to have no common sense, no good judgment, no insight into like, hey, if I do this, this might happen. None of that. And some really, with my older one, very significant sensory issues where it's hard for her to get through the day. But no, they're physically okay. Um, I mean, like I said, there are many people in way worse situations. I mean, if you think of the globe,
Right,
way worse situations.
right.
So I kind of have a trouble judging myself. It's like, what is my
Oh,
basic
no, you're
functional
doing fine. You're doing fine. I just would like you to train your daughters to do
Yeah.
more around the house and then bribe them, financially reward them for the things they
Mhm.
do. Like if you teach them how to clean the hardwood floor and they do a great job, they get $10. Because if you hired someone to do it, they would charge you way
Mhm.
more. But the $10 goes toward, going to the mall or buying something on
Mhm.
Amazon or whatever it is. But it's saying that coincidence is your best friend to take away some of the burden of their care. But you're not doing anything wrong. You have the highest spiritual card a woman can get in a reading, which means intuitively you're acting in the moment and you're doing the best you can in the moment. And your daughters recognize that. So, all right. So we're going to go down the road now to fabulous Rainy.
I love you so much. You have just got the biggest heart. You're incredibly intelligent. You're so kind. But I believe, my darling, that your life has been acting in fear. And fear is very paralyzing for you. It's keeping you stagnant and not being able to make those important moves, those important changes, not only in your household, but it all starts with the foundation, my love. And you are the foundation. And if the foundation isn't strong, it's like a domino effect. Everything else around them is a little wonky. And the best way, they're showing me literally like when Dorothy in The Wizard of Oz, she's in this tornado, the house lands, she comes out from black to white into color. It's pretty frightening to step out of that house not knowing what's on the other side, especially since you've seen the Wicked Witch flying by you in the air. I mean, you're just like, what's happening? It's almost as if Dorothy would have never come out into the colors. She would have never have started living, and that's how I feel you are. Glenda, the beautiful, I just love Glenda and her energy, and she's almost like a spirit guide to Dorothy. Dorothy had no fear. Can you imagine if Dorothy just stayed in the land of Oz with all those beautiful little people and Glenda and just being the queen of I killed this witch? Yeah, that's safe. But no, she wanted to find her inner home, her inner foundation. And the way that she did that is she went on that yellow brick road without fear. Because what's the worst thing that can happen, my darling? Not a thing. When we are paralyzed to go forward, to make those significant changes, and really, it's almost like you have to check the box, my darling. It's almost like you have to have a calendar. Today, this is what I'm going to work on personally for me. And if you go to my, all my social media is at Rainy Day Psychic Medium. On my Instagram page, pinned at the top is a wonderful book. And I think I've referenced this before, How to Do the Work by Nicole. And I just, LaPera, but you can get it on there. It's a book on Amazon. What I love about her is not only is she a very renowned, certified, educated psychologist, but she's a spiritual woo-woo girl like all of us. And it's very easy to read. And I would take one chapter every month and I would refine it. And I would put it on the calendar. Today, this is what I have to do. You, my darling, are one of those people that have to check the box. Because if you don't set up a goal for yourself and have it in writing where you see it, because you're a visual soul,
Yeah.
you're not going to do it. But it's almost like crossing off the day of a calendar. There's also another wonderful book. You've heard The Course in Miracles. I don't want you to go out and buy the book, A Course in Miracles, because it will just overwhelm your head. But there is a wonderful lady by the name of Pam Grout, and she wrote the book A Course in Miracles, The Experiment. And take one page every week. Every page is not chapters, it's a page, is a lesson. And refine that every week. Reread it. Take 10 minutes a day for yourself. If you don't start making these significant changes, and the changes is you actually moving forward and checking those boxes. That's the change. When your foundation becomes stronger and you sit in your power, my love, everything else around you falls down perfectly. And then you have the capacity and the capability of being able to deal with these challenges, because your partner, I know he's having challenges. And so you're in a home of disarray and challenges. I feel like I'm in the movie Twister.
Yeah.
Your house to land on the Wicked Witch and for you to step out onto that yellow brick road, click your heels, ground yourself, be in the moment. Know you are supported by all of these beautiful beings that are all around you. My love, you have so many angels. You have fairies, and I've never seen fairies around people. You have an ability to heal. So start by healing yourself first, and then the world will look more colorful. And I'm going to leave you with that, my darling. I love you so much. You are such a kind, loving, giving soul. Quit being so hard on yourself, because you are worthy and you deserve it. Love you.
Wow.
Thank you.
Whew, I'm getting hot.
You go, girl.
It's not menopause either. The lovely Chris.
It's all about you now.
Okay, so Stacy, all right, so you're a Sun Cancer and a rising Capricorn. So I wanted to touch on a couple things in your chart before going into your question, because I very much can see how your question relates to the things kind of going on in your chart. So you, okay, so with that rising Capricorn, that means you're ruled by Saturn, and Saturn can be a very restrictive placement to have. And it feels like sometimes you take on burdens and that aren't yours. You take on stress and burdens that aren't yours. And so it's because you have this strong sense of duty to your loved ones and to others, but definitely towards your loved ones. You have this Sun in Cancer, which means you're very loving and nurturing and compassionate, and you're this wonderful mother. And you also have some other really strong placements in Cancer, so that amplifies that in different areas of your chart. So one is you have your moon in the fourth house, and the fourth house, the natural ruler is moon. So your moon is in its natural ruler. So that again, that amplifies that you're this loving, nurturing, compassionate, empathetic mother, and you're a caretaker to so many people. And then you also have your sixth house of work and health ruled by Cancer, which means in your day-to-day, in your work life, you're a caretaker, you take care of people, you're loving, you're nurturing. And so where's the time for yourself? So you take on these burdens and the stress that it kind of leaves you kind of with your tank empty. So definitely, as it relates to your question, there's a couple things going on that directly are affecting kind of the way that you're feeling. So one, I'm going to say self-care is so important for you. When you give to others, you got to also carve out time to care for yourself. And once you care for yourself, then you're able to care for others. With your house of work and health being ruled by Cancer, usually this means something near water or some type of meditation, maybe some fountains or aquariums or something where you can meditate near water. So water could be very, very healing for you. But definitely you need to also make sure that you're releasing any kind of energetic trash that you kind of pick up, because you're also empathetic and empathic. And so when you're empath, you tend to, throughout your day, unknowingly pick up energies that aren't yours. And you got to have like a daily kind of release where you intentionally release the energies that aren't yours, because they tend to kind of weigh you down. So I'm going to recommend that as far as some self-care. So meditation, release mantras is what I call them. So for self-care, I think that's really important. That's going to help alleviate that kind of burdensome feeling. But then also you have these major transits going on. One in particular, Pluto is a very transformative planet. It changes sign every several years, so it's a long-lasting transit, and it's going through your first house of self, which means you yourself, for the last, I'm going to say probably 3 years, maybe 4 years, you have been through this period of transforming yourself. And so it's activating your eighth house. So eighth house is naturally ruled by Pluto. You have Pluto in your eighth house. So it amplifies that energy. So that Pluto in your eighth house is being activated by this Pluto transiting your first house. And it's telling you that it's time for you to step into your natural gift. And you are a natural healer. You take care of people, you're nurturing, but you also have this ability to heal people. And so I'm seeing something energetically that you could do, some type of modality where it's like a healing modality, Reiki, chakra balancing. You'd even be really good at some type of hypnosis too. But you have this part in your chart that's being activated by this transit. And so if you don't answer the call, because the phone's ringing, so if you don't answer the call and just stepping into this, what you're supposed to achieve in this lifetime of being a healer, then it's going to get more uncomfortable. So once you step into that, you're going to start feeling this relief, because that's what you're supposed to be doing in this lifetime.
I have to say that she is a healer. I'm going to give it up. She's a nurse. But you're right. Find your spirit tribe, Reno Psychic Institute. You have a little side gig where you could make some extra income, because I know that weighs heavily on you. And it would be very beneficial, not just for that extra income, but it's almost like it gives you a sense of who I am and giving back. And very important what Chris said. Every night when you get home, before you start your evening stuff with the kids and the family, jump in the shower and and wash off all that spiritual grime. Just imagine it just going down into the drain and let Mother Earth take care of it. But please check into Reno Psychic Institute. That's your spirit tribe. That's your respite. That's going to help build a stronger foundation.
So there's a Hawaiian prayer that I would really love for you to start repeating to yourself. And it's very simple. It's, I love you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. And whenever you find yourself stressed out, you just say those 4 phrases. I love you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. Now, I think because you are an overachiever and trying to do so much for so many people, that you end up missing the boat in some way. And I have to echo what Chris was saying, that you're doing so much for other people that you feel guilty when you're not making, well, you feel guilty when you think that they don't have enough, or that they're uncomfortable in some way. But I actually want their discomfort to be your benefit. So in other words, if your husband or your daughters could handle something themselves, you show them how to do it. And then you step back. So when they're uncomfortable again, say, well, I showed you how to do that. The thing is that I keep getting that the world is trying to reward you. You have that moment-to-moment card, which is the coincidences being your best friend. And it is kind of like what Chris said. You're standing in line at Baskin Robbins and they're calling your number 20. So you have to step up and get your mint chocolate chip ice cream, and because it's your turn. Do you see what I'm saying? So I agree that the universe does a couple things when you're supposed to change. You're either offered something so amazing that you have to jump after the change, or you're made so uncomfortable that you have to change something. But I have to echo what these lovely ladies are saying, that both is actually happening for you right now, because all I want you to do, and you're going to think this is the silliest thing I say to you, but I'm going to say it to you. First of all, I want you to treat your husband and your daughters like they're puppies or kittens that don't know better. Number one. And then I want you to start training them like you're training a dog. Reward the behavior you like and do your best to ignore the behavior you don't like. So when your daughters do something like clean the floor, right? They get their $10 and then you say, you know, you have no idea how much I appreciate that you did this. This is so wonderful of you, so grown up of you, so thoughtful of you. But if they do something you don't like, you don't reward it. Like if they're screaming in the other room for whatever reason, don't necessarily acknowledge it right away. So because what I keep getting is you have the wise woman card with the high priestess card. It's called inner voice in my deck. It's your ability to see the truth in any situation. And now I want you to start speaking to that truth. So, all right.
And don't run from it, my love.
Okay.
It's going to be there like the universe.
Yes.
The universe, you don't want to be like me because I've had two significant events in my life where the universe made me so sick, turned me on my back like a turtle and spun my ass around.
Right.
And until I surrendered and followed my gut and listened to the universe because they're smarter than we are.
Healed yourself.
You have to start on a strong foundation.
Yes.
So you're almost there, my darling. You're better than you think you are.
Wow,
you're amazing.
Definitely stronger than she thinks
Yes,
she is
ma'am.
at times. So all right, fabulous Stacy. What did you think about your experience here on 3?
Oh, well, definitely a blessing, coincidence, whatever, that I even got introduced to this program. This is one of my blessings.
Yay.
I do have a quick question. And when does Pluto stop transitioning through?
It's a slow-moving planet.
It is slow.
Years.
Okay, so I actually love Pluto, and you're gonna learn to love it too. I promise. It's still in the very early degrees of your chart in your first house. That's the most uncomfortable. I promise you that here within the next 6 months, you're gonna really, especially now that you're aware, right?
Yeah.
It gets easier, and you're gonna look back at this time and you're going to be so thankful that it happened. There's going to be so many silver linings, and you're going to just be a completely different person. It's have you heard of doing shadow work or working on yourself?
Mm-hmm.
That's very much what this transit means for you. Not only because it's in your first house, but also it's activating that Pluto in your 8th house, which for you it's going to evolve you into this very wonderful healer.
Okay, now you're making me I got to jump in and say
Okay.
something. Okay, so when you get to the point where you can accept every single thing about you with absolute loving care, if there's a wart on the back of your foot, you're accepting that wart. If there are things that you know you're challenged by, you're accepting that. In other words, everything about you is perfectly made for this lifetime. And as soon as you love everything about it, it gets a lot easier. So it's funny because Chris reminded me with the whole shadow work thing. The shadow work is not necessarily eliminating your shadows, because without shadows, we don't have light. We can't see the difference. It is you embracing those shadows and admitting to people what you're capable of and what you're not capable of, or what you're willing to do and what you're not willing to do. And you do it without apologizing.
And you've already had, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. Stacey, you're very hard on yourself.
Oh my God, nobody can beat you up like you can.
I have to say this. I'm going to say this again because I already said this before. You are a terrific mother. You're a wonderful mother. But there's so many areas I feel in your life that you have this sense of duty, and you're so hard on yourself. So don't be so hard on yourself and accept whatever flaws you
And
feel
didn't
like
you
might
say
have.
she's already had 3 years of this?
Yeah.
Pluto, you're almost out of it, girl.
Yay!
Hang in
Yeah,
there.
but she's coasting through the difficult times.
It's like the last mile of the marathon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're always the worst.
That makes a lot of sense. And at least I still have time to get it right. And before, yeah, so that's the silver.
Okay, wait. What if you're already getting it right?
Yeah.
Okay,
The finger.
what if you're already getting it right? Because what we keep getting here is that I don't think anybody here at this table could step up and do what you're doing.
Oh.
I'm just saying. So we would look at you in a sense of, oh.
Amazing lady.
All right. Now, what's your feedback about being on 3?
So I just want to say I am amazed, even knowing that you guys are so talented. I am just blown away at how much resonated, because I have to say, Mona, there were things that you said that were like, oh my gosh. When you talked about, well, first of all, the house, yes, I grew up with a mom, and I'm adopted, but I grew up with a mom that was OCD on cleaning.
Oh,
And
jeez.
I am going nuts with my house.
Yeah.
Second of all, I want to say, when you mentioned having a hire your grandma, my lovely parents have passed away. I don't have any family around me, and my mom was like lived to be a grandma, so it was that is a challenge. And then also, when you even mentioned the cat barfing on the carpet, we've dealt with that lately, as a matter of fact, because my kids keep overfeeding our cat treats and plastic. This is like a thing. We just called the vet the other day. So just crazy stuff like that. And then Rainy, of course, fear has been a theme in my life for as far as I can remember. And I always want to have this intention to get out of fear. And it just is, it has eluded me. It drives me insane in my mind. But also the part about me being visual and checking the box resonates so much, because I just, and you know, what's funny too is I have that book about doing the work, and I even bought the workbook on Amazon, I believe, and it's somewhere in my house. And of course, you know, I get on the hamster wheel. I've never actually opened it, the workbook. I read the book originally all in like 2 days or whatever, was like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. But then never went back to work the steps. And you know, I get busy, I'm like, okay, and I forget it's like on the shelf in somewhere in the house, so I need to find that. And then Chris, yeah, the things that you were talking about just made so much sense with you know, my feelings of obligation, and I don't feel like anything's ever good enough, you know, or I'll be a great mom, but then I screw up and I'm swearing or yelling, and then I'm like, oh no, I'm traumatizing my kids for life, and or not doing this or not doing that. And the whole Pluto thing, the last few years, since it has been rough. My parents, my mom died in 2018, my dad in 2019 with Alzheimer's. And it has been rough. So yeah, lots of transitioning going on there. And I was going to say, I am also trained in a modality called Healing Touch, which is similar to Reiki. It's made for medical professionals, but anyone can do it. But I have not really gotten into practicing it, although I took like all the levels, because
Of course you did.
because I always feel like my energy's like negative, or my cup's empty, or
Because you're not sleeping well.
Yeah.
You're not taking care of yourself.
Yeah, so I feel like, well, I'm not going to be I'm going to be a bad channel, and I'm going to have like the energy will be tainted by the time
Well,
it gets
because the
to my
energy is
hands.
coming
No.
from a universal source. It's all about your intent when you focus the energy. And you know, it's like there's a theory out there called Gestalt touch. And Gestalt touch is that you go right to the place of pain, and you literally beam light into that pain. It's like people that can walk up to your back and press their thumbs right on the trigger point,
Mhm.
right between your shoulder blades, and it suddenly relaxes your whole shoulder area and your whole back. You have that already. You have it already. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
I think it would feed your soul. I think it would feed your self-care.
Yes.
It would do the opposite of what you're thinking.
Right.
Exactly. I
And
also
just
want
be
to touch
like,
on
please, source, just don't get tainted on the way through my energy.
No.
Never.
What were you going to say, Chris?
So when Mona was saying it's like they're calling your number and you're kind of missing your boat, you got to step out of that. The time's not right, or my energy's not right, or I'm
Mhm.
not. So that would be definitely,
Now is the time.
yeah. So,
It feels
yes,
like
it's almost like you're subconsciously kind of making excuses, but not like excuses, but like I feel like you're holding yourself back because
Mhm.
you feel like the time's not right, or you're not, it's not adequate for you, or something like that. And I just want you to know that what Rainey said, that yes, it will fill you up. It will actually it will fill your heart up. It really
Okay,
will.
I gotta do a different example. Let's say there's a cream puff sitting on your counter. This beautiful cream puff. It's perfect. The pastry's perfect. The cream on the inside, you know you're gonna love every bite of it. It's sitting right there. If you don't eat it by a certain amount of time, it's gonna go bad.
Oh, that's
And I'm
going in my
telling you,
mouth.
your cream puff is right here.
Ah,
It's time to eat your cream puff. Just saying. If you like cream puffs.
I do love, I'm like, oh, yeah, that would have to go in my mouth. But yeah, you're right. I keep waiting for my cup to feel full and me to feel more vitality and like I'm doing better. But maybe by doing it, I would feel better.
Yes.
and find your spirit tribe in your
Yeah.
area, a group of like-minded individuals, because you never know where that's going to lead you. Go practice. Ask if you can practice. Ask if you possibly even could teach it.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you have the ability. You have something else. I can feel it.
Yeah.
Go.
Okay, so when she talks about joining your tribe, you have this placement in your chart that talks about through groups, organizations, sharing experiences, communication. That's where you find your healing, and it's
Wow.
beautifully
Yeah.
aspected to that healing placement that you have. That placement of being a healer. So you find your healing there, and you're this healer. So
And it's coming. You have what, 6 months? 6 months, and we're almost done. In
Wow.
the blink of an eye.
So I have to this program's going way longer than our normal
Hey,
program, but I have to tell you. So I had this most amazing young man come to me for a reading, and this must be 15 years ago. And he got some very powerful cards. He got the Hermit. He got a card called the Master, which is an extra card in my deck. He got a card called the Magician. It's like he got all these cards in a very tight cluster in his future. And I said, well, it's time for you to actually start doing your work. And his response to me was, but wait, I got to make sure that I feel like I'm where I'm supposed to be before I do it. And I said, no. Like the three of us collaborating together, we found each other all at the right moment. And there are no accidents. So the people that are finding you right now, maybe it is this spiritual group that you end up joining. Maybe it's just a really good friend. Doesn't matter, because the point you're supposed to meet is the point you're supposed to meet. And it doesn't mean that you're all the way filled up necessarily when you meet that person. So I'm just telling you, everything is exactly the way it's supposed to be. The three of us are together because it's exactly what it's supposed to be. All right. So I mean, think about it. You found this program. It was sort of coincidental, right? Well, you were meant to be on the program. We were meant to tell you what we were going to tell you. Are we totally filled up with what we know? No, we're not. But we feel that our interaction with you is important. Would you ladies agree?
Oh, everything is divine timing. Everything. And I know that some of the challenges I've had recently with my health are part of my lesson. And if I don't learn that lesson, damn it, the sons of bitches are going to keep giving it to me.
Right. Right.
So I'm like, snap out of it. I don't want this anymore. So let's change it up. That's exactly, my love, what you need to do to really just, you deserve this strong foundation. You deserve to be happy. And your babies love you.
And
You understand them.
She deserves to have some people help her,
Yeah.
including her daughters, including her husband.
Yeah.
It's like you assign tasks, like, okay.
Give them a chore chart.
Right, a workflow chart.
And it has to be visual.
Right. And if they finish the workflow chart that's on the refrigerator, they get $20.
Or their toy
Bribe
bag.
them. Better living through bribery. I'm just saying. Just saying. All right. Thank you so much, Stacy,
Thank
for being
you.
on the program. You were such a
Bless
blessing.
you all. This has been so amazing. Like I said, I knew you all were wonderful, and I am still just in awe. So
Well, you can rewatch the program forever on WWDB TV, and we look forward to hearing your feedback about how things happen for you in about 6 months from now.
yes,
And in the meantime, thank you for being a part of the program, Stacy. We love you.
thank you so much.
Wow, I have to say that was probably one of the most collaborative readings we've done with almost, I mean, our programs are, I'm sorry, I'm going to be egotistical here. Our programs are getting better and better with each caller that we have, because I think our callers are coming in a much more open vibration.
Yeah.
They're ready to hear it. So the people that are finding our program, it's not an accident.
Divine timing.
It's all good.
It's meant to be. And what I love is how the three of us are providing guidance and direction to be on that path of being everything that you can be, holding and stepping into your power. And I think I'm going to pat us all on the back
Oh,
because I think we rock. And
I-
John too. John, WWDB TV, the greatest producer. Thank you, John. Grateful for all of
oh,
you.
he's bowing over there, which is really
No,
cool.
we're good.
All right, you guys, how do you be on 3? Go to www.3three.vegas. Go to How to Be on 3 page, fill out the contact form, and then your information comes to us in the order that it's received. And then we contact you about a week before our filming, and then we invite you to be on the program. So we'd love to see you real soon. And in the meantime, have a blessed and fabulous day.